What's going on, everybody? Jim here from Clockwork Industries. Welcome back to another Clockwork Gaming video for Diablo Immortal. So we have some new information here directly from the devs on Discord. This was also available in the partner Discord. We have some changes coming to the game, and they went over it here with in our next major content, or our next major update article on June 13th, we plan to introduce changes to both Battleground and Challenge Rift. Since these adjustments are to the structure of these activities, we wanted to provide you with the heads up. So that's been a piece of information when everybody's talking about updating BGs and making changes. A lot of this stuff is tied to the Rite of Exile and how other things in the game operate. So it's not as easy as just going into the Battlegrounds, changing some code, now Battlegrounds are fixed. When Battlegrounds gets changed, Rite of Exile gets changed, and a lot of different events are tied together like that. So they're also going to start making it uniform for Battlegrounds resetting, where now we just had a rain reset. We go in there with half of the damage and defense as other players that are in the Battlegrounds who are on a different length of their Immortal reign. So previously, the length of Battleground season has been directly tied to the length of the current Immortal reign. Starting with the next major update, Battlegrounds will run on a new season structure. Once the major update goes into effect, the current Battleground season at that time will conclude, rewards will be distributed, and the new season structure will commence. So now everybody will be on the new Battleground season. Everybody will restart with the fresh Shadow buff and all of that kind of stuff, or Immortal buff if you have it. For going into the Battlegrounds, it's damage and defense primarily. You can see that in your Shadow ranking and your Immortal ranking. Challenge Rifts will also be shifting to the season structure that the Battleground is adopting. Once the major update goes into effect, the current Challenge Rift leaderboards will be resolved, rewards will be distributed, and a new season structure will commence. We will have more information on both of these changes in our next major update article. So this was directly from SinfulScribe over on Reddit. Just a community update. This was also available in the partner Discord. Now, here is some speculation based on a dev Q&A in the DI WeChat public channel, which is a Chinese forum where NetEase does a lot of direct to, the player-based communications. NetEase, now this is an important note, NetEase and Blizzard offer separate types of customer service based on China and the US. Our customer service goes through Blizzard, then through NetEase. Over in China, they have a direct line to NetEase. NetEase does all the dev changes and all that type of stuff. NA and North America and all the other Blizzard areas send the feedback to them, and then they make changes. So we have multiple layers between our player base and the devs versus the Chinese player base. So here's some things that went down in that Q&A and some thoughts and takeaways on that. This is as speculative as potentially a data mine. This might actually be a little more speculative than a data mine. Data mine has been pretty on point. It's just we don't know when that's going to occur. This is just the takeaways from the Q&A. So upcoming major update is the largest of DIs in history. Now this is going to be huge. They're trying to compete with Diablo 4. Now NetEase makes no money from Diablo 4. They want to make sure that DI continues to thrive. They don't get any piece of the Diablo 4 money coming in, so it's on them to keep improving DI and really start implementing some of the things we've been asking for to try to hang on to as much player base as it can. Personally, I don't think much is going to be taken away with the mobile market and everything like that, but NetEase wants to hedge themselves against anything like that. So internally, this patch has been referred to as DI 2.0, giving players unprecedented new content, quality of life improvements, and free stuff over a period of June and July. 6 new raid bosses, new world map, new PvP mode, Inferno difficulty, poses, which are those new stances, and a new class. This is all information we know. Now, here's some other things. Improvements to class transfer system. Set gears will automatically have main stat converted. Basically, strength will change to int and vice versa. So now we can freely change between wizard and demon hunter or necro and monk and not have to worry about farming a new set of greens. This is huge. We've been asking for this for quite a long time. Also, it is hinted that the class transfer cooldown will be removed, subject to a limit. That would be pretty awesome, too, if I could be Monk one day and go back to Satyr the next day and not have to wait an entire week. They recently did this with the Paragon system. Honestly, I don't see why not. It might have something to do with leaderboards, but overall, the rewards from that, you kind of are put where you're put anyway, whether you want to earn these points with a Satyr or a Monk. The numbers that you have on the board are pretty similar. When I'm playing Monk and doing BGs frequently, I land at around the same points that I do on the Satyr. It's always around like 64 to 6,500. So we'll see what happens there. That's speculation. hidden layer optimization. The daily limit will be, tentatively speaking, changed to a weekly limit to allow players to have better control over their schedules without missing loot. Higher drop rate, 100% in some cases, to reduce frustration over the last few gems. Could have used this today. We were running hidden layers and we could not get our last bound gems. I think we did like 8 layers. I don't even know how many. I don't even know if I'm capped after all that. We grind a lot of layers today looking for those gems, and sometimes those last few gems off of the bosses can take you forever. Another thing is the 8% badge for immortal players is no longer limited to 40% of the immortal players. Rather, all immortals who meet a certain threshold will be eligible for the 8% badge. All right. So basically, you can get your 8% D easier as an immortal. Immortal players will receive an enhancement to their damage and defense bonuses, matching their current levels of shadow players, keeping the, because we get our defense and damage bonuses pretty quickly as a shadow, but it does take time to level all the way up to 33. This is what I was talking about before, where with the seasons, if I'm at 33% damage and defense, but then someone else has their range change, and even if they go through all the Path of Blood and they only end up at 15%, I have double the damage and defense as them from their shadow bonus. So now everybody will always be on the same page with that. And now the immortals will be on the same page as the shadows to prevent inadvertent harm in the battleground and other PvP areas. This is going back to all the other things with all the PvP being connected. And various optimizations in BG, which will take some classes into consideration when matchmaking. Additionally, players' stats will receive further compression to ensure better user experience. This means that the gap between high and low resonance players will be further artificially reduced, making it harder for whales to slaughter low resonance players. This, I really hope this is more than speculation and this is coming to the game. We need much better balancing in these battlegrounds. We need to make them fun for everybody, regardless if you're lower Paragon, higher Paragon, max gems. We just need much better optimization when matchmaking. We have far more high resonance players now that we could create much better matchmaking, even if they were funneled into only 1 or 2 on each side, or putting them all into their own brackets, factoring in your secondary stats and just your skill levels. Going to even a point-based matchmaking system where all of your gear and power is automatically factored into the point system, because you're going to hit your skill cap, which gets you to your point cap, and that's going to be regardless of whatever kind of gear you have on. So if you are not as skilled but have more powerful gems and gear, you're going to rank up and still be out of the league of that person, and you'll all be kind of, or if you're not as good, you'll all be matched where your skill level is, and will create more fair fights regardless of how much you spent. You'll be spending money into the game to unlock new capabilities of your character that aren't available to people who didn't spend as much, such as getting rank 10 gems and all that kind of stuff. That should be the incentive of ranking up and leveling up your gems, but still fighting people who have also done that as well. Lastly, the devs have acknowledged that BG optimization is a long-term task. We've heard about this for quite a while. Slight changes have to be made very slowly to the battlegrounds, because one wrong move and it'll destroy them. And we see how slow it takes them to make fixes and adjustments. So we don't want them breaking it completely, where it's basically unplayable for weeks, you know. The devs will continue to make improvements for all players to better enjoy the game. So that's it from that. There was a Q&A on the DI WeChat public forum for mostly, I'm assuming, in China and NetEase. So yeah, a bunch of interesting stuff here. D4 launch is tomorrow. Speaking of that, we'll have Drops Enabled on a Twitch stream. I'll have a link down in the description. Drops Enabled does not start until June 5th. The first week there's going to be 2 cosmetic that's available, and you can gift 2 subs to the channel for your for a mount. That starts on June 5th. And then every week a new cosmetic will come out, and 3 hours of watch time can gain you that cosmetic. So links down in the description. I'll also put the link to the Drops Q&A on the Blizzard website to give you all the information, so you can see all the dates, the cosmetics, and all of that kind of stuff that's going to be available. I'll be streaming live starting tomorrow night at 7:30 or 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We'll begin blasting in D4 right away. I'll be playing it all weekend, all of launch, and then I'll start balancing out back to DI and D4 equal amounts of time, or coming up with a schedule. I'm going to figure that out as things continue to go forward. So be on the lookout for that. All the links will be down in the description. I hope you guys found this stuff interesting. This Q&A is really interesting to me, and I really hope to see a lot of these changes come to the game, especially the battleground stuff. That's one of the main things that I've been doing in this game since launch, and doing that on the stream as well. So I would love to see some of that come to the game and finally get some balanced battlegrounds and fair matches and fun fights. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in D4 tomorrow. And I'll have some videos coming up soon on the Seder, because I just class changed over there a couple weeks ago, and I've been getting used to it. I'll have some videos up soon. So thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.